Hi, this is Janey, Imaani, and welcome to Emotional Awareness. Okay, so let's look at the question that we'll be answering today. I have been in a series of unsuccessful relationships for the past 10 years. I don't know if it's me or if it's them. Sometimes I think it must be them, but other times I think, how can the problem not be me? But my friends tell me all the time that maybe I have a love addiction and I need to love myself more. And if I did, then I wouldn't let these guys treat me in this way. Everybody keeps talking about self-love, so can you please tell me what it means to love yourself and how do I love myself more? Okay, so the question is, what is self-love? So first of all, I'm probably the wrong person to ask about self-love because I've been in this industry for like 12 years and I don't know why, but every time I've heard this term self-love, it's kind of made me cringe. But either way, I'm going to give this a go because let's look at the message behind self-love, because sometimes when a phrase is used a lot, we do end up missing the point. So as far as I can tell, self-love is really about personal responsibility. And I've heard other researchers frame it in a different way, which I think is more accurate. Like I've heard people say, take care of yourself like you're taking care of someone that you're responsible for helping. Talk to yourself like you're talking to someone that you love. The idea is that don't place the responsibility of your feelings to another person, or don't outsource your primary emotional needs of love and belonging to other human beings. So an example of that would be, say if you texted your fiance about like 3 times in the past 2 hours about an argument that you had last night and he hasn't responded to your text, and so now you're going down in this downward spiral of thinking, or maybe he's not responding because he's starting to think that I'm not good marriage material, or maybe he thinks that he could find somebody better than me. And so now, to sort of ease the uncomfortable feeling that you're feeling, you've subconsciously decided that you're going to call him countless times until he validates that feeling in you. And so self-love in this case would mean that you know how to soothe the pain or feeling unworthy yourself. You know how to sort of validate yourself during a difficult time. Which I think is a very extremely difficult task because it can be really hard to like yourself sometimes. And I really would say one of the bigger problems is that people think self-love is something that they should already have. Like self-love is something that should be your baseline and you should have already figured out. And that's not true, because it's so many of us have self-contempt, right? Because there are so many reasons why you might not like yourself, right? Nobody is more aware of your shortcomings, your flaws, and all the mistakes that you made than you are. And so that's why so many of us sort of struggle with feeling like we're worthy, or struggle to believe that we are deserving of our aspirations or our ambitions. And we also know from more than 50 years of research now that every single person experiences shame. And shame is the feeling of believing that you are unworthy of love, connection, and belonging. And so every single one of us has this feeling, except somebody who's psychopathic. And when I say psychopathic, I mean in the clinical sense, not so much to describe somebody that you think is selfish. And so given all that, it really makes sense as to why there had to be a whole self-love movement to sort of balance out the self-contempt or self-loathing that we all have in us. So the idea of self-love would be first believing that you are worthy of those emotional needs, and then taking the responsibility of taking care of those needs yourself. So you've heard it before, right? Everybody says that you can't buy love. The idea is that we can't rent out love either, or we can't lease it from external sources. We have to be able to own the love within ourselves. And sort of that way you always have access to it. And human beings, the other thing I like to say is that human beings are interdependent creatures. We do need each other, but the idea is that you know how to soothe yourself whenever you need to, whether you're going through a difficult time or just on a day-to-day basis, without sort of turning to other people all the time. Okay, so let's do this in a nutshell. Whose responsibility is it to make us feel worthy? When we are feeling lonely, sad, bored, or less than, it is our responsibility to heal ourselves with our own love. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you tune in next Wednesday for another video and we'll be answering another question. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and take care. Bye.